You Raven fans, Oriole fans, I'm on camera now. Thank you. Thank you for very much joining us for the Ravery Sports Podcast. Thank you. More and more of you every week joining for the Ravery Sports Podcast. Thank you. Thank you very much. Started 2022. I was wondering if anybody was going to watch. So some of you obviously are out here. So we appreciate that. Thank you for growing with us and everything that's going on in the world right now. A lot of crazy times, but I'm thanking you for this can be a distraction, getting a little Orioles, Ravens, Terps in every week to go over as fans. Thank you so much for joining us. A lot to talk about. Genesis Notary Services is our notary business in the Winchester, Virginia area. If you are in Clark County, Frederick County, Winchester City, the whole Northern Virginia, Shenandoah Valley, definitely give us a call. See Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com as well. So definitely check that out for you as well. Also to reverysports.company.site. Definitely check that out as well. reverysports.company.site. Definitely check that out. Alani, give me the phone real quick. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us this week. We're going to go ahead and get this squared away. So let's go ahead and start right now with the stream. We're going to talk NFL draft this week. We're absolutely going to go ahead and get that taken care of this week. So the NFL draft. So we're going to start talking draft as well. We haven't yet. So definitely this is going to be our first conversation about the NFL draft. So, draft targets. So, what's going on with draft targets this week? So with targets, what is that for the NFL draft? So when you have targets, this is what the Ravens would do in the draft. So targets is definitely what the Ravens would do in the NFL draft. So these are guys' positions that the Ravens would absolutely look at in the draft to go ahead and get players that they are interested in. Now, there are going to be some players. We basically, in some spots, we're condensing this to positions that they might be looking for. It's hard to tell sometimes with every dollar counts, EDC, Eric DeCosta, but we're going to go ahead and go over that as well. So let's go ahead and check this out. Draft targets. Guard, I think, is definitely a need for the Ravens. I think it might be the biggest need on the board for the Baltimore Ravens. Definitely with Daniel Falele struggles, and on the one side, Pat McCarry struggles. Pat McCarry free agency on the other side. Andrew Voorhees getting benched early in the year. Interesting to see what happens there. Definitely you need help at guard. What might the Ravens do? Tyler Booker. I think he's pretty much the only one I think that's going to be first round. More and more I see mock drafts of him in the first. I think he might fall. I think guards generally fall, though, historically. Usually guards don't get picked up super high, although I think he's the best chance of getting drafted first round. I do think there is some chance more than other people seem to think that he gets picked in the second But to me, clearly he's number one on the board. The best combination mauler technician on the board. Big time school at Alabama. Absolutely. Tate Rutledge. This is the mauler. This is the road grader. This is the guy that's going to push you around at the line of scrimmage. No question about it, with Tate Rutledge being one of the best tackle, one of the best guard prospects in the draft. No question about that. Big, strong guy. On the other side, Dylan Fairchild. I have him a little higher than I've seen him. Basically more, he's not the mauler that Rutledge is at guard. I don't know if he's immediately plug and play. Excellent technique. I like his footwork. I like his hands. I really like that. Maybe he needs to get a little stronger, which is why he's not going a little higher. But I think Booker is like the combination of these two, very much so, which is why he's number one. But Fairchild, I have him a little higher than I think fifth and sixth. I don't think he's going to wait that long. I think it's going to be very good choice. Greg Zabel, I think I'm saying that right, from North Dakota State. He was very good at the Senior Bowl. This we know. I think he was very good at the Senior Bowl, especially small school guys playing well there is a good thing for them. Playing well against elite competition, they always look for that. I think he's a guard at the pro level, play at tackle. So interesting to see. Somebody might put him at tackle. Second round, I think still. I've seen him on some boards higher than that. I think second round as well. Donovan Jackson, same. Again, seeing him a little bit higher, but I probably think second, third round range. Played very well in place of another guy we'll talk about, but this is why he got so high on the board. Again, I think he's a guard. He can play a little tackle, but I think he's guard. A lot of these guards were right tackles here, like Marcus Mebo. Definitely played right tackle at Purdue. Could play right. I more really see him as a guard. I don't think he's going to be able to play right tackle in the NFL. Definitely not left tackle. I think guard is where I have him projected. Jonas Salvea, I see him much, much higher. I don't know why. I'm going to put him here because I've seen him much higher. I don't really see where he's that high of a pick. First round, I don't think so. I think he's a little bit lower. His feet and hands really need a lot of work to me. But he's very strong at the point of attack. So I definitely think that's I'm gonna be kind here and say second, third round, but I think he's more of a project as well. And he's definitely at guard. I don't see him at tackle at all. Next level. The offensive tackle. These guys, I think they're in purple for sure first round. No chance they drop the second round. Calvin Banks, I have the highest at 1 in Texas. Will Campbell, I see a lot at 1. I really like Banks. Banks, I think, has that strength. Sometimes you can't teach strength for an offensive tackle. You really can't teach it. He has it. I think he's definitely the strongest. I think the reason he's lower is the measurables. Arms a little shorter. Doesn't really look the part always. Kind of like, to me, not quite J.C. Latham in last year's draft, but yeah, it doesn't quite look the part as well. But I think he's fantastic. I think definitely he's number 1. Will Campbell, I think, is more of a consensus number 1. I don't have him as high. I don't think he has the measurables, but I don't think he's as good at the point of attack. I think that kind of matters. He's got great feet and balance, which is really what you like. So I think he'll require less coaching. I think his ceiling is a little higher. I don't think he's a great tackle. If you put him at tackle right away at left tackle, I don't really see that. Probably the best right guard is Amon Membu from Missouri. I think he's pretty good at right tackle. There's a lot of guys that project right tackle. I think he's the best one in terms of actually being a right tackle right away. I think probably the closest one. I think on the right team, right situation, he's probably the one you play right away. I don't really see him at left tackle. Again, you could kick him in a guard. I think of a team like the Eagles or something like that, takes him late. You could probably put him at guard, no problem. But I think he could probably play tackle. I think he's definitely going in the first round. These two about 1-2. Josh Simmons, I think he's probably somewhere in that first, second round. injury last year. Donovan Jackson kind of filled in for him at the end. Simmons, I think the only thing is injury is concern. I think that's the only reason why I'm not higher. Upside is tremendous. Same with Josh Connery. I think outstanding. This is if you want left tackle, this is the guy you want. This guy, I don't think he's on the right side either. I think he's more of a pass blocker. I think that's his strength. I think definitely that's why I think he's going to get taken high as well. But if the Ravens were to take him, I think they would put him on the left side. You can leave Rosengarten on the left side if you take him. Very strong, good week at the Senior Bowl as well. These guys are more late first to Eschery from Minnesota. Antonio Eschery, pretty good. I think this is I like his size. I think, unfortunately, I see a lot of Daniel Falele with him. So I think you should play him at tackle, right tackle. Definitely got the size. Wyatt Miller, I wish he was better at the Senior Bowl. Not quite as good as well at the Senior Bowl. Kind of struggled a little bit. But I still don't think he drops too far. I think about second round. Again, right situation. I think he'll be fine. Cameron Williams, Texas, big, strong, physical right tackle. No question about it there with him. Travis Hunter, let it begin. Is he going to play both sides? I think it really depends on the team that takes him, that drafts him. I don't know what team that is, but I think whoever team takes him, I think it matters the most. I think he could definitely play wide receiver. He's an outstanding corner. He's the guy I think that takes the ball away. These top three are terrific. Will Johnson, I have him below Hunter, I think only probably because of the two-way aspect with Travis Hunter. But Will Johnson, I think, is fantastic. The only other thing is the injuries as well. Didn't really finish last year. Really good the year before. Will Johnson, I think, top 10. I'd be surprised if he fell out of the top 10. J.D. Burton, I think, is fun to watch. Like, as far as watching the tape and watching all the videos, this is probably one of the most fun I had watching him as well. Excellent Marcus Peters type guy who's going to take the ball away, play in the slot. You can absolutely put him outside. I've seen him a little bit lower. That's a mistake. Definitely, I think the Ravens got to like his ability to take the ball away in the first round. Ben Morrison, I like him. I like him really good. I think he's not got some growing to do, but I think definitely more of a second round, probably late first. I could see team liking him. Sharon Ravel, I think Siobhan Ravel also to see him a little bit higher on boards. I think he could go late in the first round in the 20-ish area. These guys like between 20 and 40, something like that. But excellent as well. Tremendous speed he has. Love his speed. Definitely, if you want the guy with the great speed, you'll go ahead and take him. Malachi Starks at safety. I think Eric DeCosta mentioned taking a safety. So definitely Malachi Starks is the guy. Not quite as good this year as he's been at Georgia. I think there is some concern with that. Some concern. But I absolutely love Malachi Starks. His talent, his ability to go ahead and produce. I think he's an outstanding player. Definitely, to me, easy the one that's for sure going in the first round. Definitely hitter. He has a really good safety, can hit and run. He can do both. So I definitely like Starks there. Definitely, again, EDC and John Harbaugh mentioned safety. So keep that in mind. They don't mind spending money on safety. I think not their highest priority, maybe, but it is possible. Xavier Watts, I think, we saw how good he was at Notre Dame. Definitely, he's a guy you could stick in the late first round. Definitely, the situation is right. If you put him on the right team, definitely think has the ability to go ahead and go in the late first round. Nick Amamore, I think I'm saying his name right, from South Carolina. I see him higher than I have him when I'm watching him. They say he has 4.3 speed. I don't see it on the field, though. I don't see it on the field. I think he's a bit more of a project than not a project might be too strong, but I think I see him high in the first round and mid. I think that's a bit much. Too a very late one. That's about as high as I would take him. Kevin Winston from Penn State, part of that traditional great Penn State defense. Outstanding. I think he was possibly the best player on the defense this year. About to Castro, I've seen him high and lower. I think definitely you can't go wrong taking a physical Iowa safety, especially with all the success Cooper DeJean had last year. Definitely second round. Edge. Bunch of edge rushers. I'm not sure about a lot of them. I don't think a lot of them are home runs like I'm hearing. At the top is Abdul Carter. There's no question about it. No question about it. Abdul Carter runs on. The thing I like about him is he has a great motor. He's on a football field and he never gets tired, never looks worn down, always looks in tremendous physical condition. So definitely a lot to like Abdul Carter. Mikal Williams, I think, is probably next. That's probably right. More of a traditional, to me, DN. I think like him playing in 4-3, 3-4 outside, went like a traditional 4 down. I think that is his more of his strength, even though he's edge. James Pierce from Tennessee and Nick Skrull, kind of about the same. Definitely great speed edge. Like to have seen a little bit more production. Same with Shamar Stewart as well. The athleticism is there in all cases. I think I would like to have seen more production from all those guys, but athletically is there. But you never know. Sometimes you scheme them up. I think all those guys have it. Mike Green, terrific at the Senior Bowl. Big for him. I kind of bumped him up a little bit after his performance at the Senior Bowl. You watched the video of him knocking down Josh Connolly, so that was really good. Jack Sawyer, one of the 2 outstanding DNs. I think I got the school wrong. He's Ohio State, the Ohio State. Definitely, he might sneak in the first round. I could see that. He does have a lot of production. The measurables and everything aren't there as much, but definitely production as well there. Wide receiver, not as big a need, but I think it's not out of the realm, especially where the Ravens are picking. I could see some of this EDC stuff, like if the best guy is there, that they take one of these guys. Terry McMillan, I think, I don't have Travis Hunter on here for this because I already had him, but you could put Travis Hunter on this as well if you want to say he's wide receiver. Because I think he's a first-round wide receiver as well. McMillan, I have him at 1. Good route runner as well. Not blazing speed. I think, at least I don't see it on the field when he's running, but he's definitely got the strength. He's a bit old school. I kind of like it, though. I kind of like it there as well. Luther Burden, I think, is definitely going to go in the first round. Excellent career at Missouri. Emeka Ukuba from, again, I got school wrong. Ohio State again. The Ohio State University as well. Definitely amongst great receivers he's played. That's the only question I have with him. He played with Marvin Harrison. He played this year with Jermaine Smith. So he was an outstanding number 2 receiver in college. Can he go to the next level and step that up? But I think he's the goods. I think he definitely has excellent route running, great hands, not slow. Sometimes you almost say that it almost sounds like I'm saying he's slow. Not slow, but I think definitely the last of the first round. Boom, 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 right there. Matt Golden in Texas. I think probably in a perfect world, a second round. I think the Steelers or somebody who's looking for a wide receiver late, or Kansas City might take him. I think that's it. Trey Harris, I definitely more second than first. See some holes in his game. Not quite refined, a good athlete as well, but I like Trey Harris. It wouldn't shock me at the very end of the first that somebody takes him. This is the EDC special. So I think these are names, if they're there, they'll take them. Don't expect these guys to be there, but they're at positions I think the Ravens will look at. Best player available, Tyler Warren. Definitely, I think he's the best tight end in the. I think they take Warren. Colston Loveland, I almost put him. I don't think the Ravens particularly would do that in his case. I think Warren, is a complete tight end all around. I like his blocking. I think that's why he's how Colton Loveland. Loveland is a guy that is Loveland is a guy that's more of a traditional receiver, where I think he's an all-around tight end. Warren is going to run somebody over. Ashton Jeanty, same, best running back, easy. We all know what he's done. Some people said he should have won the Heisman Trophy. Outstanding season. Mason Graham and Walton Nolan, easy first rounders. They always can use defensive line help. Michael Pierce getting older. Travis Jones is still there, etc. But these guys are very high in the first round. For any reason they fall or they get close to the Ravens, might see a little bit of a move there for those guys. There you go. The draft. So, well, next week we'll do our mock draft. So those are the names I think that you'll see in the draft and the mock draft. And those, I think, are some of the names that the Ravens go at. Now, again, had a little bit of what I thought in that. Also, too, trying to line up what the Ravens would do in terms of that. But those are a lot of the names you're going to see in the draft as well. Safety, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. I think the biggest need is the offensive line. They have to do something there. They might need two players on the offensive line, offensive guard, offensive tackle. But definitely keep an eye on that as well. All right. So we are going to talk about Ben Cleveland a little bit. Ben Cleveland was arrested for DUI, unfortunately, this week, reported by TMZ, rather. So his blood alcohol level was super high. I don't want to harp on it too much. I think he's definitely on his way to being ex-Raven. I think this was inevitable anyway. I don't think they were bringing him back. I don't think he wanted to come back. The only thing here I would say, this kind of maybe, I wonder if this was something that they knew about. This is maybe why he wasn't playing. Maybe they knew that there was an issue with him beforehand. I don't know that. I hope that isn't true. I mean, but it was all so confusing with him why they wouldn't at least consider it. So, and him getting arrested for DUI makes somebody want out. I guess we'll never know. But I think that's absolutely something. It's too bad as well that happened. Justin Tucker, 6 more massage therapists came forward this week saying similar things about Justin Tucker, more accusations. What's startling to me is no response from the Baltimore Ravens. Nothing about Tucker, nothing about this at all. No statements, nothing. They have been very curiously quiet as well. Tucker put out a statement when the first accusations came out, but we haven't heard anything from the Ravens. I don't know. They're going to have to talk at the combine pretty much. I think that's probably what we're thinking, what they're going to say, because they have to talk media. And, of course, they're going to get asked about Tucker and Ben Cleveland, etc. Right before the stream, unfortunately, I did see Terrell Suggs had some trouble legally as well. So that was as serious as what's going on here. But rough times here as far as guys, Ravens and now ex-Ravens with Suggs getting in trouble. So hoping for – we're definitely going to find out soon with Tucker, with free agency coming along. Ben Cleveland for sure is on his way to be ex-Raven. Hopefully everything works out for those guys as young men. Hopefully they all work out as well. We still don't know if any of this is true with Tucker. These are just allegations. Ben Cleveland was arrested for DI. He'll have his day in court. Let's all keep open minds on that because we don't know for sure. Quarterback predictions. So we don't know where quarterbacks are going to play in 2025, but let's go ahead and have a little fun predicting where they're going to play. Free agency, not quite starting yet, but let's see in 2025 where some of these guys are going to be playing as well. So the East is very easy. AFC East, Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, Drake May, they're locked in as well to their positions. Jets, I think they're going to get rid of Aaron. They haven't yet. I think a miracle might happen as well with them keeping Aaron Rodgers. Hold on, let me get the right graph up. I don't think I have that. Give me 1 second. I think I updated this. Management appreciates your cooperation. We will appreciate all of your appreciation. All right, so we got the graphic up. We got the right graphic up. Okay, so I see Aaron Rodgers. That's not the right graphic. Justin Fields. I think the Jets have been talking to Justin Fields. I definitely think he's going out of Pittsburgh for sure. I definitely believe the Jets have some interest. They're going to have to take a free agent there. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold with the Squealers. I find him. That's what I want to do. I want to go ahead and sign in Pittsburgh for sure. I think they're going to have to take a free agent ticket 21st. Jackson Dart, Milroe, not quite good enough. I think to go ahead and take that late. Early second, they could trade back and do it. I don't think that serves an immediate need. Sam Darnold would. Some questions about it. I definitely do it if I'm Pittsburgh. This is better than anything you had in last year. You're not going to be picking high a lot of times in the draft. This is the best way forward. Shedeur Sanders. I don't buy for a second that they're this crazy not to take a quarterback when you need one so terrible. There's no way you can go with Deshaun Watson. Shedeur Sanders, I think, is definitely the next quarterback of the Browns. There are a little bit worried about Deion Sanders and his influence. His son is an outstanding quarterback. I think they cannot pass on that. Trevor Lawrence, I think, stays in Jacksonville. The Squirrels did show some interest. Some teams are showing some interest. I don't think they move him. I think they keep him. I don't know about Lawrence anymore, though. They regress. I really think the next coach really needs to go ahead and coach him up and see and push him a little bit because he has some work to do. Tools are still there. Cam Ward, I think the next Steve McNair, I think absolutely. When I see Cam Ward, there's a lot of similarities to Steve McNair. I think I hear some tight fans talking about Steve McNair. I think Cam Ward, I definitely think they take him first in the draft, Cam Ward. Anthony Richardson, I don't know. I don't think so. I was hesitant in the draft. I'm not seeing it on the field yet. Athleticism is still there. Shane Steichen's got to work with him. See, can you keep him healthy? CJ Stroud, no question about it. Only question is he a top 5 quarterback? In the West, Mahomes, Herbert, Bo Nix, no question about it. Nix, I think, is really the only question is, can he be in the upper echelon of the elite quarterbacks in a very difficult AFC? Russell Wilson, I think, goes to the Raiders. The devil that you know, that Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson know each other. Tom Brady's making decisions there, familiar with them. I don't see any reason why they would go in a different direction. You got to do that. I think he wants to go there. I think Russell's kind of maybe wanted to go back to Pittsburgh, but I think they're going to move on from him. Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, I think, is an elite quarterback. There's no question about it. Prescott is just got to get healthy, play a little better. Hurts, I think, is an elite quarterback now as well. So you have 2 outstanding quarterbacks in that division. Kirk Cousins. We'll see, man. Cousins, yeah, man. I think that's – look, the Giants would love to get one of the first 2 quarterbacks. I think they are going to make an offer, but I think this is kind of the direction they're going to go with Cousins. I think people are kind of forgetting about him. I think he's going to get one more shot to start. That's the route they're going to go. Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, I think they're doing it. Again, kind of like Anthony Richardson, I'm not the biggest believer in McCarthy, but they picked him high. They don't want to spend a lot of money on it. They're going to give it a shot. I don't know if it's a great idea, but I think they're going to go with that. The rest of it is set. Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams. I don't think there's any question about it. Little regression from Love. I think Williams, like to see him pick it up here as well. South, we know Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young, Derek Carr. I think he stays. I don't think he gets traded. I think the Giants do look at him. I don't know if there's a lot of market for him. I don't think so. Michael Penix, I think, is going to start for sure in Atlanta. In the West, I think set pretty good. Brock Purdy, Geno Smith, Matt Stafford, and Kyler Murray. Stafford, the trade rumors. I don't know why the Rams would trade him. I really don't. I don't know why the Rams would get out of that unless they like Aaron Rodgers or like. I don't see why they don't have an early pick to take a quarterback. So I don't think they do that, but we'll see. I think they're just negotiating. They're talking about moving him for the last 3 years, believe it or not. So we'll see. There you go. Quarterback predictions for 2025. It's good to be a Raiders fan when you look at that because Lamar's not going anywhere for a while. His contract is coming up, but yeah, it's hard. A lot of these teams don't have a quarterback. They're really out here looking. Let's do this here, and I will talk about the NBA. Look, I'm very – we're going to talk about ESPN a little bit, but the coverage of it isn't great. All they want to talk about, in my opinion, is all they want to keep talking about. I got to get rid of this slide too. So all they want to keep talking about is the Warriors and the Lakers and all of the other stuff, right? So you can't watch that and not have the Warriors and the Lakers talk. And I don't think, obviously, and I've been a Laker fan my entire life. I don't think that either one of those teams is the best, is one of the better teams in the NBA. I don't think either one of them is. So we are going to talk about the five best teams in the NBA. As soon as I can get the graphic up here. All right. So these are the five best teams in the NBA as far as at the All-Star break. We're going to talk a little bit about each team. Number 5, Memphis is really, really good. Memphis, I think Ja Morant, I think with his issues and problems, I think a lot of the league forgot about Ja Morant, how good Ja Morant is. They have good length. Zach Edey is there. Look, I don't know why they kept saying he couldn't play in the NBA. He absolutely can. They have the best rookie class. I think Jalen Wells might be the rookie of the year in second round. They're fantastic. I don't think they're quite there with the top 4, but they're definitely top 5. I think they're going to go all the way. They're going to be top 3 in the West, one of the excellent teams in the league as well. Ja Morant, I think they can take – there's a lot there to be excited about. Their starting 5 is really good, and they're good defensively, I think. I do like their effort defensively. Really young team. Denver. This is more Nikola Joker and friends this year from them. They have had some injuries. They have 97-year-old Russell Westbrook starting at point guard. They do have some injuries. Mon Gordon's missed some time. Murray's not quite this. I think not quite as good this year. So they've kind of had to rely more on Nikola Jokic, but I think they are. I'm still putting them in the top 4. Their record, I think, is 3rd or 4th in the West. So they're really good. And they won a championship, heart of a champion here in recent years. I do like their coach a lot too, Mike Malone. I think I have Denver at 4. We talked about that. Yeah. Celtics. The Celtics are what the Celtics are. I think definitely if you had to possibly predict a team out of the East, it's the Celtics. They are what they've been. I think this is probably the right now they're the constant good NBA team. Jason Tatum, you know what you're getting. Jaylen Brown, you know what you're getting. I think Kristaps Porzingis, they're getting production from him this year. They've moved Al Horford to the bench. They're getting it from Derek White. They're getting it from their bench as well. They're getting a lot of production. I don't know if they're better, though. They don't really seem as hungry as I think the next team. And I think it's Cleveland. Cleveland's really good. I think Cleveland is really being slept on. Darius Garland is so much fun to watch. so quick off the ball. I mean, it really does look like Allen Iverson to me as well. Not the volume scorer because Donovan Mitchell is there, but I think they are outstanding as well. I think Cleveland is really, really good as well. I do like the length of their bigs, Jared Allen, etc. I think there's a lot to like in Cleveland. They're the only question is Donovan Mitchell good enough to be two questions. Are they good enough is Donovan Mitchell good enough to be a championship player on a championship team? That's the one question. The other question is, can they do it? Can they actually unseat Boston as well? I think they need the home court to do it. Interesting to see. Easy the two best teams in the East. But number one, the disrespected, hoodwinked Oklahoma City Thunder. This is probably how you build an NBA franchise. Oklahoma's doing. Young players, they develop them, they add to their team, they do it absolutely right. I think I saw an article where where somebody said the Oklahoma City Thunder was the best run franchise in any sport. I might have to agree with that. They're definitely doing everything right in terms of that. Jalen Williams, I think, is having a phenomenal season for them. Isaiah Hartston is actually playing well. Aaron Wiggins, I think, is doing well for them. And I think they have SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, is the MVP, or either him or Nikola Jokic as well. They play hard at all times. They're very good on defense. I love that. And they're very young. I have a little bit more faith in them because last year they played so well. Last year. So I do have a little bit more faith in them than I do Cleveland as well coming out of the West. I think they are the favorites for the title. If I had to pick a title winner, Oklahoma City Thunder. There you go. OKC, the best team in the NBA. All right. I didn't watch the All-Star game. God bless you if you did. I really want to root for the All-Star game to be better, but it's just not better. I'm going to give real quick 5 things here to make the All-Star game better. USA versus the world. I think that's definitely an idea that's been floated. I don't really see anything wrong with that NBA All-Star game. I'm going to get that graph. I'll put that there. U.S. versus the world. I think that's the most likely to happen. I think they do like a World Baseball Classic, or what you're seeing in hockey right now. I think that's absolutely a thing that they could do. And I would put it in a city outside of an NBA city. Put it in France or Paris or Moscow or something like that. Actually make it a real hostile environment for the U.S. players to actually play USA versus the world. Another one, NBA All-Stars versus the world champions. So whoever wins it right now, you have Boston. Why not see how they would do against a world championship team? I think Boston with a chip on his shoulder, certainly what happened in the Olympics to them would absolutely be cool. I'd actually love to see him go, to see how Tatum and Brown, who weren't running on the Olympic team, would do against LeBron and all those guys and Curry. I think that's an idea that is there. East versus West gets home court the finals. Baseball, I think it helped them a little bit in the All-Star game. Not too bad of an idea as well. It's been done. So I think that's an idea that they have. Team MVP gets the home court. So let's say SGA wins the MVP of the All-Star game. How about, now Oklahoma City gets the home court? That could be like a lottery ticket for them getting the MVP. I think you would have good players play actually hard in that. And let's see LeBron versus Michael. This is probably the worst idea, I think, because you can have legends, but throw some legends in the game as well. So let's get some retired legends. Let's see how Carmelo and Vince Carter and those guys who recently retired. Let's see how they would do in this format. There you go. So All-Star game. Yeah. Definitely needs work. Maryland and Michigan State coming up next Wednesday. So definitely check that out. They're playing tonight against USC. That's why I went on at 7:30 so I could check out some of that game as well. Michigan State, the all-time winningest leader, Tom Izzo, is in Michigan State as well. Terps are 20-6 against the Spartans. These two teams are for sure NCAA tournament bound. Freshman Jeremy Fears injured the last game, definitely quick off the dribble. Typical Tom Izzo point guard. Fears is as well. Definitely their best freshman. Step right in. Jaden Atkins, their senior, he's their leading scorer, 13.2 points a game. This looks like a time as a lot of them look the same. Guys who are quick off the ball, handle, one guy handles, they switch ball handle, they switch off ball, they play great defense, they hustle. I definitely think that we thought we see Trevor Booker, Xavier Booker to start this year. It's been Jackson Kohler, I think, getting more of over Colin Carr and Xavier Booker. He's going to actually start for them. I think one of the best freshmen in all of college basketball is Derek Queen, 16.8, 8.8 rebounds a game. This guy does everything well. This is the new era of NBA player for sure. Definitely he's going to go in the draft and go high in the he may be lottery, depending on how he does at the workouts. Outstanding stuff for Derek Queen. Gillespie, I think, is the second best player. I think he's the next best scorer that they have. Their starting five is fantastic. In Maryland, 14.7 points a game. They're not maybe as good of a deep shooter, but a better all-around player as Rodney Rice is, but a better all-around player. Great season, I think, from Gillespie as well. The entire starting five. And Julian Reese is a fantastic piece of meat and potatoes as well. 13.8. He's actually scoring some nights on his own. Last year when I saw him with Jameer Young, he would only have nights when Young would have nights. He does that as well, but he has nights on his own. He still meets the potatoes, but he doesn't. I'd really like to see him. I might even stop saying to meet potatoes if I see him assert himself offensively more. He kind of doesn't always assert himself on the offensive end. But I think Maryland wins this game. They beat Michigan State on Wednesday, so definitely we're going to go on at 8:30 because we're going to watch the game and talk about it next week on Wednesday. Terps definitely are going to the tournament in the top 20. It's only a matter, can they get a 4 seed? How high can they go? Can they make their first round opponent weaker? This team is good enough to go to the Sweet 16. There is absolutely no question about that. There you go. All right, so let's go to our top 10 list. We've been doing our top 10 list. This is going to surprise some people. It was already released on Twitter because I went on a day late. But we'll go over it here. Who are the top 10 center fielders in MLB? No Aaron Judge in center. So some of y'all might look at that and say, well, where's Aaron Judge? He's in right field this year. Number 10, I don't care. Tommy Edman, if you're wondering why he's on this list, you obviously missed the World Series. Fits right in that Dodger lineup. No pressure on this guy. I think he's headed for a career year like a lot of the Dodgers offense. I'm definitely putting him in the top 10. I definitely think he can have 16, 17 home runs, 20 RBIs, 80 RBIs rather. No pressure in the lineup. They're going to have to pitch to him because there's so much thunder in that lineup. I think Tommy Edmonds is there. Cedric is about where I've had him the last couple of years, about a net 9. Cedric, I think, still might be the best defensive center fielder in baseball, and that's saying something. He's very good with the glove. Definitely, I think he should have got more consideration for the Gold Glove. He can definitely steal bases. He can definitely run bases. I really like Cedric a lot. I think Cedric is very, very good as far as in the field, can really run. O'Neal Cruz, I think, is coming as well. Definitely, you talk about a guy who has definitely offensive talent, no question about it, but definitely good defensively. I don't think he's a stud offensively, but I'm putting him a little bit ahead of Cruz at Mullins. I think he'll give you a little bit more on offense, but definitely very good defensively, and I think he's going to give you more on offense. emerging maybe is not the right word, I think, but a solid offensive player as well. Cruz, fun to watch too. Like you talk about guys fun to watch, definitely Oneil Cruz is one. Byron Buxton. I don't know why I keep seeing lists like this and seeing him at 1 and 2. I don't get it. The athleticism has always been there, but he always misses these games. He always his average is never very high. He does have good home run totals. He has stretches where he looks good, but I can't put you higher than 7 when you're not consistent enough to the level. But people don't seem to keep putting him higher. I can't put him higher because he's not. I don't have him at that level quite yet, but I think he's really good. He's really good, but I think Buxton 7, I think, is probably a better spot. Brandon Doyle, I think I kept almost with the list, like fighting will push him down, but the numbers are there. The numbers are there for Brandon Doyle. Definitely, he was good last year. You always worry about players with the Rockies when they're playing in that, with the thin air and all that. You definitely worry about that as well. 260, 23 home runs, 73 RBIs. So you definitely worry about that. But I definitely think he's absolutely good. I think it's Brent. I think I misspelled it. But definitely he's absolutely the goods. Top 5. I think any of these 5, you could put him at 1 and they don't have too big of a problem. Michael Harris, kind of like I keep saying it over and over with a lot of the Braves guys, not as good last year, but I think excellent, sky's the limit. I absolutely can see this guy breaking out and becoming more than what he is, like a leadoff guy, just with the glove, with the speed and everything like that. He absolutely can, I think, has potential to get home run production, but we really haven't seen it yet. So I think definitely it's there, but I think we're still kind of waiting for Michael Harris to become not quite as good last year, I don't think, as he was, but not bad. 16 home runs, 48 RBIs. I definitely think potential is absolutely there. Jarred Duran for the Bo Sox. He's another one. If I don't have him at 1, but if somebody told me he's the best center fielder, I don't have too big of a problem with it. 285 last year, 20 home runs, 75 RBIs. I don't think he's going to do much better than that. That's kind of why I don't have him. Like Harris, I think the numbers weren't as good, but the ceiling as well. I think he's kind of hit his ceiling. He's good defensively, but I don't really think he's going to get much better than what he is right there. That's about it. I'm a little surprised I don't see Bellinger higher a lot of time, Cody Bellinger. The work that the way that he's done the last few years, 266, 17, 78. Definitely he's going to play center field for the Yankees. Definitely he's going to have that protection, going to be in the lineup with Judge and everything. So I definitely think there's a lot to like with him. Good, solid offensive player. I think you keep him healthy. I think he's going to have better offensive numbers than he had last year. And he was pretty decent. So I do like Bellinger in New York there as well. Definitely a defensive upgrade for them, him moving to center. Julio Rodriguez, I kind of thought I'd have him at 1 by now, but not quite yet. I thought like last year I really was kind of had him on my list of guys that think, man, he's really going to show that, he's going to be the best center fielder. He's just going to have all these lower stats. 2023, he had like 103 RBIs. Last year, he had like 68. So I think the sky is still there. He stays healthy. There's a lot to like. But I think Jackson Merrill, I think there is no limit. I think he kind of got overshadowed by Paul Skeens last year and Jackson Torino in center as far as rookies. But I think we're kind of sleeping on him. He's outstanding at center as well. I don't know about Gold Glove yet. I definitely think that's on the menu at some point. 292, 24 homers, 90 RBIs, excellent protection in that San Diego lineup. There you go. Jackson Merrill, number 1 center fielder in all of baseball. There you go. All right. So that's the list of it here. We still got a few more to go. Right field, manager, pitchers. We're almost there. Season is about to start. Real quick note before I get to the first spring training report. Just saw this before I started tonight. No more MLB on ESPN on their main channel. You may see it on their ESPN Plus with the regional. They carry a lot of that. But I put it on purpose. Like, I'm going to be dropping ESPN. According to the article in The Athletic, I have it on the page where they're unhappy with the coverage that ESPN is giving them. They should be. They should be. They don't really talk about it on First Take. They don't really talk about it on a lot of their shows. They only really talk about it on when they have a game, Sunday night game. They cut the amount of games. So they still kind of, the only thing they seem to really be happy with was the Sunday night baseball. Yeah. So that's kind of what it is there. So I'm going to think Amazon or something like that, they're going to go ahead and get that taken care of. Matt Reichert, Orioles spring training report. All right, so now let's get to it here. A few minutes left. Matt Reichert of the Baltimore Sun. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. Rock Abaco. I hope I'm saying that right. I've said that more. Mastersports.com. Left-hander Trevor Rogers and Jorge Mateo unlikely healthy by opening day. It's wild. Like, we don't sometimes hear about some of these injuries until right when spring training starts. It's very good about not saying anything about these injuries. Mateo, not a big surprise, had some surgery last year, so he's not going to start at all at the beginning of the season. He's going to start. So I think that kind of opens up one of these outfielders that they have on the roster. Daz Cameron announced that he would DFA last week, passed through waivers and claimed he has accepted the right to elect free agency, but he has accepted assignment non-roster. So it was an interesting story with him. They DFA'd him, but they gave him a locker spring training. So somebody noticed that he had a locker in spring training. So he's going to have a fight on his team. I think he's going to be fighting for the last outfield spot, maybe the spot that Jorge Mateo would have had, or be in Norfolk. You do in Norfolk want to keep guys ready to go under an emergency situation. So I think that's definitely the thought process there for getting so many out. It looks like they have a lot of outfielders there. I think that's the thought process. Nearly all the position players reported early, so they didn't have to report until the 17th, but almost everybody was there. The only ones that really weren't there early were Ryan O'Hearn and Roman Arellano. I think O'Hearn, one had a visa issue. I'm not sure what. Then I think O'Hearn had a personal issue. I think it was a family. I think he had a baby or something like that. But really no injuries to really speak of. So that's good. A lot of the guys came early to camp. I thought that was fantastic. Chance McDermott is sidelined as well. So right-hand star. So he has a lat tear and a strain. Not good. Probably you won't see Chance McDermott at the start of the season. Look, you call Chance a prospect all you want. Chance is going to be 27. So his time is now to go ahead and make the team. He's probably still, though, the best pitcher. I think at this point with him, the way I see him, probably a bullpen at some point. I don't think he starts at any point. I don't think the Orioles really see him as a starter at this point. Some people are saying that. I don't think they really see him there. Felix Bautista had Tommy John surgery in October 2023. Marching on, this is a quote from Mike Elias, marching on and everything is said to be on plan, C said through a translator as well. The goal is to be ready for opening day. Guys, Bautista should be ready by now. He had surgery in October 23. It takes about 16 months for sure to be ready for Tommy John surgery. So this is why you kind of won't have Kyle Bradish at all. 16 months We're in, you have October 2024. Let's count. October 2024, that's 12 months. November, December, January, February. That's 16 months. Should be ready to go. Now, this could be Elias speak and team speak for slow walking it. He should be ready. So I think they could just be cautious, but he should be ready to go by opening day. All accounts look like so far he's ready to go by opening day. John Means signed a 1-year agreement with the Guardians, club option for 2026. So I don't think he had any spot on the roster for him. I think that's why he signed with a different team. I think that's probably what they told him as well. He's going to get a shot somewhere in Cleveland to go ahead and pitch at least a roster spot, like to be there. But I don't think there was an opening for him in Baltimore anymore. Shout out to John Means, one of the Orioles. I have a lot of affection for John Means, Trey Mancini, guys who got the Orioles through those difficult times as well. When we didn't have major league players, you had John Means, Trey Mancini were, they soldiered through. So we wish all the best to John Means as well in Cleveland. Absolutely. Real quick this week, Saturday, the first exhibition game, February 22nd, 1:05 per Rockabaco Master Sports. Brandon Hyde said that Albert Suarez will get the nod for the first game in spring training against the Pirates. There you go, Hurricane. I think this is you can't read too much into that. Who starts in spring training as well in the first game? They want to give probably Suarez though. You want to give whoever it is more than one inning. They'd have no problem giving Suarez 3 innings. I'm really pulling for him to make the squad this year. Albert Suarez, I think he will make the squad. And this is a show of faith in him, not that they're giving him this, even though it's not regular season and it's spring training. There you go. All right. So thank you very much. I'm going to go watch USC in Maryland here as well. So definitely check it out. Our podcast is on the Ravery Sports Podcast channel and Drive to the Top Productions. Definitely check it out every week here. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Ravery Sports Podcast. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.